I'm doing good. What's happening?
Good, man. Hey, so I got a call from Ernie stating that what Fight News had posted saying that you had said that Pronovikov would knock out Bradley wasn't true. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, you know what? It really irritates me because, I do so many interviews on a daily basis that I don't know who did it, but the thing is this, um, there's ways of saying it, and when I talk about a fight, I explain exactly the way a fight would end up.
Right.
And when I see that comment, it really irritates me because people on social media just attacking me like if I'm a bad guy, like if I'm a sore loser, like if I'm a those comments from the fans are just they irritate me, man.
Right.
And I mean when I do an interview, I explain things in the right manner. So if you're gonna post something out there, at least explain and do things right. Post the right comment on there.
Right.
Don't make me feel like don't put me on the spot like I'm the one talking bad about Bradley when I'm in reality I'm not.
Let me ask you this, man. Was this something that was built up between you two? I mean, because it from last year, everything seemed okay till this year. It just seems like you guys' relationship just deteriorated so quick that really didn't even have the time to kind of look into it or see signs of this happening, man. I mean, was this ongoing before it was announced?
No. Nothing was ever wrong between Bradley and I. Nothing. Everything was going great.
What are you doing on, dude?
I mean, Bradley and I have a relationship like brothers,
Right.
like best friends. I mean, Bradley is a very respectful guy. He's always been a very nice guy, and he's never disrespected me in any way, and I never disrespected him in any way either. The thing is, okay, he decided to make changes. That's fine. We left it as it was. As a matter of fact, the last day Bradley and I spoke, the last day we spoke with each other. He told me what he felt, and I told him what I thought, and
Right.
what I felt as well. We didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice at me. I didn't raise my voice at him. As a matter of fact, he comes around my desk, and he shakes my hand, and he thanks me for everything. He thanks me, he thanks my family, everything, and everything was fine. I told him the same way. I said, brother, you let me know what we're going to do, if we're going to work together. If not, I want to know. He goes, okay, coach, thank you, man. And we hugged, walked away. Didn't hear from him in a few days, and then because I knew he didn't have a phone at the time, so he called me from a blocked number. And as a matter of fact, I still have his message on my voicemail. Because all he said was, that he thought about it really hard. He's been thinking about the situation, and things are not going to get any better. This is all exactly he said. He goes, Coach, I don't see it getting any better now with my wife and my brother-in-law. And, I noticed things are getting worse than better now. And I said, okay, well, he goes, but I tried to call you again one more time. So he never called me after that.
Right.
But not because of that. We ended up in bad terms. And then people start, attacking me and then start talking bad about him. And then, of course, they irritate him. The fact that when because this is what I think that obviously since he made his wife the manager, a lot of things changed. I mean, if you don't want to understand that that's what happened, I mean, that's his problem, not mine.
Right.
But, not because of that. I respect that. If his wife tells him, okay, Bradley, we're going to make some changes, of course, that's his wife. I'm not going to argue about it. I'm not going to argue with him. Okay, we move on, and we move on. He goes his way, I go my way. But then when the media approaches me, and they ask me questions, and they always ask me about Bradley Provodnikov. Now that I'm training Provodnikov, everybody's asking me, what do you think? And I
Right.
I mean, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I thank Bradley because together we formed something and we created something together. Now that, he went his way and I went my way, I still wish him the best. Talking about the Rios fight yesterday with some interviews.
Right.
I said, man, Bradley always trained hard. He's a guy that, never takes anybody light,
Right.
regardless of if it's Mayweather or if it's not Mayweather. He trains himself 100%. His performance is always a great performance because he's always in top shape. He doesn't procrastinate. He trains really hard, and he's gonna always perform at his best. I even said yesterday in one interview, I said, how many fighters out there can say I knocked out Brandon Rios? At least and Bradley's resume, not even Pacquiao did it.
Right.
Regardless of it doesn't matter if Brandon Rios was at his best or not. Bradley knocked him out. And it's great. I'm happy that he did it. I don't have nothing against him.
So he's
doing his job.
Right.
We gotta move on. But I just hate the fact that people just throw out there in interviews, and the first thing they put is, "Oh, Joel Diaz said that Provodnikov will knock out Bradley." They make me look bad.
Right. So let me ask you this. So your feelings are that there was nothing really stemming between you and Bradley. You're okay that he went on his own, but you feel the media created this tension between you two, right?
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. And now, a lot of fans, they see things different, and it's not supposed to be that way.
Right.
They should just leave it as this. Bradley and I created something together. Yes, he wanted to go on his own. He got a new trainer. Hey, it's common sense. He has to move on, and I have to move on. I got other fighters in my stable. He has a career. He has a career. He has a job, and of course he has to move on. So he has to look for the best possible opportunities for himself.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. When I speak to certain people in the media or even just folks around in the boxing circle, the finger is always pointed at Monica Bradley. Do you think that's a fair assessment that the decisions and the bad decisions that Bradley has made and right now, which people are pointing out, is solely the blame on her? Do you think that people need to stop pointing the finger at her and make him accountable for his own decisions?
I think so. It's like I was with Bradley for so many years. Bradley and I, when we started this business, when we started training together, it's like, that's why when people say, does it bother you when Bradley says that he learned more in 3 days than the 10 years with you? I say it doesn't bother me.
Right.
And, he's saying that, because we always react in bad way when we got, when we get when we don't have the proper approach.
Right.
And probably Bradley feels like, okay, these people are attacking my wife, and because Joel said, that it was my wife's decision, now everybody's attacking Bradley because of his wife.
Right.
And people are attacking him, through his wife. He's going to respond in a negative way, even though he knows it's not true.
Right.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me because starting up with Bradley when he became a professional, nobody wanted to train him because nobody believed in him. Oh, he don't have the size. He don't hit hard enough. He's never gonna make it. So I told him, hey, kid, come on. I started training him, started switching his style a little bit from the amateur to a professional. And look, he accomplished 5 more titles.
Right.
If he really means that he learned more in 3 days than with me in 10 years, that's up to him. That's his opinion, and I respect it. But with me, there's a lot of things that we went together. We cried together, man.
Right.
We celebrated together.
Absolutely.
We sweated together. And I appreciate that. Just for example, in one of the interviews yesterday, I said, man, I got so many pictures with Bradley. I got so many pictures. I got pictures with him, Pacquiao, and Freddie Roach, him, Marquez, and Freddie Roach, and Nacho Verstappen. I got them all in my office. Well, I can't, just because this is going on, I'm going to get rid of everything I have? No.
Right.
It's something that we work for,
Right.
We work for that. I can't just throw everything away all because he's not with me tomorrow. I appreciate the fact that we built together.
Right.
As long as he says, Joel Diaz is where he is because of me. He has what he has because of me. It doesn't bother me. Why? Because when they ask me the same question, I say, you know what? I don't see it that way.
Right.
I see that he is where he is because of me, and I am where I am because of him. Because we did it together. We were working together. I was a trainer. I would put the plan together, and he would perform. And it was always a great plan. And a lot of fights. I can tell you a lot of fights that I made the switch when he was getting in trouble, and he would listen, and he would come on top. The outcome would be different. But all those things, man, they go to trash. But the thing is this, everybody, gets whatever they want, and they post it out there, and I feel like they're making me look bad when I have nothing bad over Bradley, man. Bradley, to me, is still another person that I grew with, and I appreciate everything we did together. Honestly, that guy, I know him from the heart. He's a very nice guy.
Right.
He has a big heart, and I don't want him to hear from the people saying, "Oh, did you hear what you all said that Provodnica will knock you out?" Because people keep adding to that, and it becomes something bigger, and it's not supposed to be that way.
Absolutely, man. So, my last question for you, bro, and I'll let you go because I know you got to get going, is fans out there say, Joel Diaz is sour. He's just upset because he was dropped. How do you pretty much have explained your heart's still with him. But do you think that in some ways, some things have been made more to sound like you're sour when you're really not?
Yeah, in the relationship between me and Tim, a lot of things didn't go right, and you gotta speak up. You gotta speak up, and reality is reality. I'm not talking against them, but when I speak from the heart, and I say the truth. I have no reason why to lie.
Right.
And I told Bradley that day, the last day him and I spoke, I told him, because he approached me and he says, Tim, he says, Coach, there's just you wanted to fight. Did you do it for a paycheck? Did you just do it for a paycheck? And I said, really, Tim? Are you serious?
Wow.
I will never do that, and that to me, that was disrespectful, because when he was going to fight Marquez, he was hurt. He was, after the Provodnica fight, he was hurt. He was concussed. He wasn't okay. And I was going to pull the plug on the fight. I didn't want him to fight because I didn't want to feel guilty him getting hurt by my kids.
Right.
And that was a bigger fight. And he knows, and he goes, Coach, it's a big money fight. Let's do it for our families. I go, no, because I want to be able to bring you back home, to your kids. I don't want you to get hurt. I know that you're not okay. He goes, give me some time. Give me 2 more weeks. When he felt better, then we went ahead and said, okay, now you convince me that you're ready.
Right.
And for him to say that, for him to ask me that if I did it for a paycheck, that really hurt me. And another thing, he didn't know nothing about the problem between his brother-in-law and I. And I know that the reason why he said that his wife has something to do with it, because his wife and his brother-in-law started getting too close to everything in the camp.
Right.
The wife was a manager, and the brother-in-law was, okay, an assistant, go here, go there, whatever. But it got to a point where he was coming around asking me what size of gloves the sparring partners are using, who is he sparring, and I'm like, that's my job. I've been doing this for fucking 10 years.
Right.
And then after the fight, I'm taking out his gloves, and the brother-in-law always wants to be on the camera. He pushes Tim to the cameras, and I told him, wait, let me take out his gloves. So he didn't listen, and he's dragging Tim. I go, wait, let me take out his gloves. So then I stopped, and I told Timothy's father, I go, Coach, this fucking guy needs to have his fucking position.
Right.
He's taking over our fucking job. And I go, man, I was gonna beat the shit out of him in the ring that night. But I'd rather walk away. I step aside. I said, I don't want to make a big scene here. I walked away. As a matter of fact, that night we went to dinner. Bradley was there, his wife, everybody, the family was there, and everything was cool. Before we went to sleep, Tim and I, he comes, he goes, Coach, thank you, man, thank you. And I go, yeah, you're welcome, Jeff. I go, oh, please, man, you gotta listen. You don't listen, you get in trouble.
Right.
You got hit with a fucking punch. And he goes, I know, Coach, but hey, we're good. So he walked away, he went to sleep, The next morning, it was 6 in the morning when he's knocking at my door. And then he comes to my door and he gives me the scale and he gives me an envelope and it says, Coach, here, man. I go, right, Jim. I said, Jim. I go, man, don't fucking ever do this again.
Yeah.
Listen, when I'm telling you to don't get reckless and don't get careless in there, you know, he goes, and he did his answer, he goes, Coach, you know me, man. I got balls. I go, yeah, I know you got balls. You gotta be smart. You don't need to get hit like this. And he goes, you know, Coach, all right, baby, see you later. And that was all. And after that, you know, he never knew about the problem that we had in the ring with his brother-in-law or nothing. So if you put things together, who told him that his brother-in-law and I had problems in the ring? Somebody else, because after the fight,
Right.
him and I, you know, we went to dinner together and nothing happened. The next morning, he came to my room and nothing happened. He was happy. You know, we hugged. We walked away. So somebody told him the problem that his brother-in-law and I had, and that's the reason why he approached me when he came to the gym and told me that if I did the fight for a paycheck, and then why did I leave him alone in the ring, you know, before they announced the winner, and, you know, I'm like, and I explained to him, I go, Jim, the reason why I left the ring is because if I stay, I was going to beat the shit out of your brother in the ring, because he's stepping into my toes, man.
Right.
You're giving him too much authority, and you're not supposed to be that way. And that was it. So I told him, hey, let me know, Jim. If you don't want to work with me anymore, that's fine. Just let me know. But you already hurt my feelings by telling me that, by asking me if I did that fight just for a paycheck.
Wow. That's crazy, man. Well, I hope you guys can mend things up, and hopefully he's able to listen to this interview, man, because it's heartfelt, and you cleared up a lot of things that a lot of folks wanted to know. Joel Diaz, again, man, I appreciate you taking the time to speak to us here. You know?
Well, it's great. I mean, I like the fact to clear things up because, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm, you know, that's fine. I just sleep. I didn't sleep because I get home and I'm doing some shows for HBO Latino, and I'm going online to see who's fighting on those dates they gave me. Because I'm scrolling to Fight News, and then I see, okay, I'm doing the show in Florida, and then I'm doing the show in Corona, New York, December 19th. So then I scroll up, and I see Joel Diaz says that Provodnikov will knock out Bradley. Oh, man, that got me really furious.
Right.
And then I started looking at the comments, and that got me more furious. I didn't sleep last night. I told my wife, you know what? This is bullshit. I never said anything like this. You know? I mean, I gave interviews, and the interview I gave was this. And this is the interview that I gave for this person to post that was, they were asking me, and they're like, hey, how did Provodnikov do? Great. Well, he improved a little bit. I'm talking about Provodnikov. So, and then they asked me, who would you like to see Provodnikov fight next? And I said, you know what? I don't know. I'm just a trainer. He has a manager and a promoter. But, you know, there's always in Provodnikov's mind. After the fight, we're in the dressing room, and, you know, they ask him, who do you want to fight next? And Provodnikov himself said, I got three persons in my list that I want to fight. And the first one in my list is Bradley. The second one is Matisse, and the third one is Mauricio Herrera. I want to redeem my losses. But, you know, I just heard him. I heard him from the side, and, you know, so, and then, but I also said, I would like to see Ruslan Provodnikov fight like a Danny Garcia. That will make a great fight because they're both heavy punches. So then, they asked me again, what do you think would happen if Bradley, and a rematch between Bradley and Provodnikov? And I said, and I gave both fighters credit. At the same time, I didn't talk bad about anybody.
Right.
I just said, this is what happened. I said, you know, it will be a tough fight for both fighters because Bradley always comes in shape and he throws 100 punches around. And Bradley can put severe damage on Ruslan's face due to the high volume of punches that he throws, and he can even stop them. I said that. And then I said, but at the same time, if Bradley stays in there and exchanges with Ruslan, Ruslan has the power to catch him with a good punch and maybe knock him out. You know? And that's exactly what I said. But I never said, oh, Ruslan will knock him out. I mean, that makes it a big difference, you know, for people to attack me and say, oh, this guy's hurt. Oh, this is like a girlfriend that, you know, that you leave and she's talking bad. I mean, I'm not like that. I'm not. I'm better than that, you know?
Absolutely.
I'm a professional. I don't talk bad about nobody, especially about Bradley, that him and I went so long together and put so much You know?
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
wish him the best. I wish Bradley the best. I wish him and his team the best. If Teddy Ellis can do more for Bradley than I can, fine. As a matter of fact, you can even ask Bradley one time. Ask him one question and ask him, if me, when he was training with me, early in his career, 10 fights, 11 fights, if I told him, hey, Tim, I'm going to take you as far as I can. And if there's somebody that can do better for you than me, I'll step aside and I'll still be your number one fan. I always repeated that to him.
Wow. Well, there you go, Joel Diaz here on Leaving the Ring. Again, man, I want to thank you for coming on, bro, and clearing this all up. We will talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you.